here and I'm here to tell you a story for September. Now, this is also a riddle. This story is called The Little Red House, and in it a little boy is asked to find the little red house with no windows, no doors and a star inside. So I want you to have a think about that as I'm telling the story. See if you can solve the riddle at the same time as the little boy does. So here goes. Here's the story of the little red house with no windows and no doors. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who was bored. Bored with running around the garden, bored with playing with his toys, bored with playing his video games and bored with watching the TV. What was he going to do? So he went up to his mother and he said, "Mum, I'm bored." "I see," said his mother. "Well, what you need is an adventure and I know just the place for you to go. I want you to pack up your rucksack and put in it a biscuit and some milk because you should never go anywhere without a snack, should you? No. And then you can walk past the farm all the way up to the little lake where there is a little tree and where Grandma lives. And you can visit your grandma. But while you're there, I want you to find the little red house with no windows, no doors and a star inside." "Really?" said the little boy. "But I've never seen that house before. How can I find it if I've never seen it before?" "Ah," said his mother. "Well, you'll see. If you find anybody on the way, perhaps you'd like to ask them." Okay. So, the little boy set off on his adventure with his backpack and his biscuit and his milk inside, and off he went with his biggest, bravest boots on. He started along the path until he came to the old oak tree with the gnarly branches and the acorns that were starting to fall because it was autumn. Up in the tree he heard a squawk, and he looked up and saw a crow. He thought, I wonder if Crow's seen the little red house. "Crow," he said, "Crow, Crow, have you seen the little red house with no windows and no doors and a star inside?" "Ah," said Crow, "I'm not sure. I'm quite hungry though, and I find it difficult to think when I'm hungry. If you had a snack in your bag you could share with me, I might be able to help." Well, of course, the little boy had a biscuit in his bag, didn't he? And so he sat down and shared the biscuit with the crow. The crow was very grateful. "Thank you very much," said the crow, "but I don't know where the house is, I'm afraid. I do know somebody who might know, though. If you carry on, follow the path along towards the barn. There is a black cat sleeping. Ask the black cat, but mind, be careful you don't wake him up too suddenly. He doesn't like being woken up too suddenly." Okay, said the little boy, "I'll try that." And so he walks his way along the path to the barn. Sure enough, as he opens the door, he sees the floor strewn with hay, and there is a little black fluffy ball in the middle. It's the cat. He creeps very slowly up to see whether he can just tap the cat just behind the ear, give it a scratch, see if it'll wake up. Peacefully, slowly, nicely. But unfortunately, as he's going, his foot grinds on some corn on the floor and makes a terrible noise. "Meow!" says the cat. "Who's that waking me up?" "Oh, I'm sorry," said the little boy. "I'm really sorry. I'm trying to find my way to the little red house with no windows and no doors and the star inside, and Crow said you might know." "Meow," said the cat. "You woke me up. Have you got any milk? I'm thirsty." Well, as it happened, the boy did, didn't he? So he poured out a little bit of milk into a saucer that was next to the cat, and the cat drank up the milk. "That's better," said the cat. "Thank you." "You're welcome," said the little boy, "and I'm very sorry I woke you up." That's okay, said the cat. I'm sorry that I was so grumpy, and I'm also sorry that I do not know where the little red house with no windows and no doors and the star inside is. But I do know who does, said the little cat. Follow the path all the way up to Granny's house, and there she is in the rocking chair on the decking, and she's looking out at the little pond where there's the tree. She knows where the little red house with no windows and no doors is. Oh, good, said the little boy, because that's where he was going. He was going to see his granny, wasn't he? He's a little bit disappointed that he didn't have biscuit and milk to share with Granny, but he knew that Granny wouldn't mind too much, and she'd probably have biscuits and milk herself, wouldn't she? She would. And so he carried on his journey up the path. Soon, as he made his way along the path, he could see the little pond and the tree and the little house, and there was Granny sat on the decking, rocking back and forth in the rocking chair. It's a lovely day and the sun was shining high, and as he reached Granny he waved. "Hi, Granny," he said. "Hello," said Granny. "Come in. Let's have milk and biscuits." See, I told you she'd have milk and biscuits. "Oh, but Granny, I have something to ask you first," he said. "Okay." He said, Mother's told me to find the little red house with no windows and no doors and the star inside, and I just don't know where it is, and the crow said the cat knew, and the cat says that you know." "Oh," said Granny. "Well, let me have a think about that. Little red house, well, that is my favourite colour. With no windows and no doors. Oh, it would be so cosy with no draughts and no wind coming through the house. And the little star inside. Oh, I could read by the light of that little star. It sounds like a wonderful place to live. If you find it, do let me know, but I don't know where it is." "Oh, but Granny, you must." "I don't. I tell you what, why don't you go and ask the tree by the pond? The tree is older than me. The tree must know." "Oh," said the little boy, "how am I going to talk to a tree?" But he always knows that his granny is right, and so he makes his way across to the little pond, and he stands by the tree and he looks up at the tree and he goes, "Tree, tree, where is a little house with no windows and no doors and the star inside?" As he is looking up at the tree, a breeze rustles the branches and the leaves, and down to the ground comes an apple. Well, the little boy looks at this apple and he thinks, well, it's red, and it's got no windows, and it's got no doors. But I'm not sure about the star, but, well, the tree did drop it down for me. Perhaps this is it. Perhaps this is it. And he ran up to Granny and he said, "Granny, Granny, Granny, I have found the little red house with no windows and no doors. I'm not sure about the star inside, but I think I found it." And he ran on down the path and past the barn, and he said to the cat, "I found the little red house with no windows and no doors." "Meow," says the cat, who's very happy he's found it. And off he goes along down the path again. He says, "Crow, crow," he's looking up at the tree where the crow is. "Crow, crow, I found the little red house with no windows and no doors." "Caw," says the crow as he watches him run by and down the path and all the way home. Well, he bursts in the door at home and he goes, "Mum, Mum, I found the little red house with no windows and no doors, but where's the star inside?" "Ah," she says, "bring me the apple." And so he does. He brings her the apple. Now, if you turn your apple this way and you cut it down the middle this way, you have a little red house with no windows and no doors and a star inside. "Wow," said the little boy. "A little red house with no windows, no doors, and a star inside." I hope you enjoyed that little riddle. And now you can go tell your friends. Perhaps you can tell them that story for Halloween. It's a nice one, isn't it, next month? And you can tell them about how if you take an apple and you cut it this way, so that you've got the end like that and like that, you'll end up with a star inside it. Don't forget, there's an activity sheet for you to download as well, which will give you some activities which relate to the story and help bring the story to life for you. And don't forget, you can tell your version of this story as well. Perhaps it's not a cat or a crow that he sees. You let me know which animals that the little boy or the little girl finds on the path, on their journey to find the little red house with no windows, no doors and the star inside. I'll see you next month. Until then, may your month be full of stories. I'll see you soon. Toodle pip.